Hi, and welcome to another video interview. Today we're going to talk to Natanya Lara, and she is a pro psychic mechanics graduate. And so we're just going to talk about her experience. This is just a candid discussion. So Natanya, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm psyched to talk to you.
Fantastic. My first question, of course, is what's your magic? What is it that you do?
Yeah, so I have this alchemy, this program that I've created that I love, which is a combination of the shamanic work that I trained with you and also energy clearing. And I put these two things together to create these massive shifts for people. It's pretty awesome.
Fantastic. I'm so happy for you. And at the time of this recording, it's just so you can get some perspective. It is about 8 weeks after graduation, just a little bit more. So you've been professional for for about 8 weeks now. So congratulations on that. And so the very first question that I have for you is, why did you originally sign up for the Psychic Mechanics program, that mentorship?
So I knew that I needed to be working more deeply with energy. And initially, I thought I was going to be training in Reiki. And at the very last moment, I had this kind of eh, like, I got the final email in the series from you, and it jumped out at me in a way that I hadn't anticipated.
Yeah.
So I remember we hopped on the phone, and I was like, I don't know what's happening here. But it was clearly the direction that the energy wanted to go for me.
Perfect. And I love that you mentioned that sometimes we don't have a logical reason for why we're being guided one way or another. And so you're not the only one who's like, I knew I needed to be in this course and I was not expecting to do that. Lisa, of course, has a similar story. And so that was fantastic. And my next question for you is, what hesitancies did you have? And you might hear some noise in the background. That's my husband. We live in the same house, so sometimes he does stuff. Um, but what hesitancy did you have about joining the program, or did you have any?
Well, I think that the hesitancy that I had came when I received that email, and I was like, psychic? Like that never really occurred to me. Like, why? And but again, after we had that phone call, and especially when you mentioned that you were going to be doing that shamanic piece, it just clicked for me. And again, there was not after that. I just it was just clear that it was what I needed to do.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I loved having you in the program. You really were the perfect fit for it. And so after that, what was your favorite part of the program? As you were going through it, what just really jumped out at you that you really enjoyed?
Mm. Oh God, I loved all of it. I mean, I felt like, let me think, with each piece, it was like a part of myself that I hadn't recognized was being seen. And so it's kind of hard to pick one.
Right.
Although I will say that when we finally started working with people, and especially when we were doing those the live readings together, and I had that reflection right back at me about what I was experiencing and how true it was, that was
Mhm.
just so powerful. So
Yes.
that was pretty amazing.
Yes, and that's module three for those of you, if you're watching this. That was module three, and module three is all about getting into practice because one of the biggest things that I struggled with at the beginning was I knew I was accurate in practice, but I didn't ever have anyone. I was blessed. My mentor helped me after the fact too, but I didn't have someone on a scheduled way to hold my hand while I figured out how my unique gifts worked. And so that's those group calls. We do group calls every week, and they're designed so that you can see, hello, you are completely accurate, but look, it doesn't look exactly like everyone else's accuracy. It comes in differently for each person. And that's where my genius is. I can see how it's coming through. and really help people navigate that. And I love that you said it felt like you were learning or coming home to a piece of yourself with each one, because that was my fondest wish for the program, was to help people. I kind of feel like part of my role is to introduce people to themselves, you know,
Yeah.
and see who they really are on a deep, deep spiritual level. And it's absolutely magical. So, and thank you so much for that. So, if someone's on the fence or thinks it might be for them and isn't really sure, what words of wisdom do you have for them? What would you recommend they do?
Mm, well, I would recommend that first of all that they talk with you, because you can feel the resonance, and so like just having that conversation will help to illuminate for yourself whether it feels right. So that alone, I would highly, highly recommend. And then beyond that, I would say, whatever it is for you that helps you to tune in to your guidance in whatever form it is right now, do
Hmm.
that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. That is exactly perfect. Everyone has a unique, intuitive system, and I really do believe that they will know. And of course, if there are any questions, we can always chat. I love talking to people, and you know as well as I do, I don't like hard sales. I don't do that. If someone's right for the course, I like them to be in the course. If they're not right for the course, timing, energy, whatever, then it's best to wait. Otherwise, it's just not a good fit and it brings everything down. So they're not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy, and no one else in the program is going to be happy. So I really appreciate that. And so finally, do you have any final words for anyone in general who's watching this?
Oh, goodness.
Putting you on the
Um,
spot with that one.
that's okay. I'm good with that. I would say if you're watching this and you're thinking that this might be for you, then chances are you're aware that you're on your journey. And that alone is huge. And, I can just say from having been seeking and seeking and seeking and seeking for so many years, decades, just wanting that sense of alignment, wanting that sense of feeling, knowing deeply who I am, um, that if you're here and you're on that path, then you're in the right place. And whether or not this program is for you, just keep moving forward because you are being led. And that is a gift. So that's what I would say.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful note to leave it on. Thank you.